everyone, thanks so much for checking out the blog tonight. This is part 2 from Nina. I'm so happy that she decided to just share her personal story with us today. If you didn't check out last week on Rachel's Challenge, which is an incredible organization making a huge difference across the world, really, with anti-bullying and anti-suicide, make sure you check out that video. But today, Nina shared her personal story of having an abortion when she was young and what it felt like, so check it out. Hey guys, thanks for hanging out today. We have a special treat. We have Nina here from Rachel's Challenge, and last week she shared a little bit about what she does all over the nation, all over the world, talking about anti-bullying and the awesome things that Rachel's Challenge is doing. But this week, I asked her to share her personal story that really impacted me, and so I'm just gonna ask her to start wherever you wanna start and share whatever you wanna share, because it's such a strong story.
For sure. You know, I grew up in a pretty strong home. Christian home. Everything was really cool. I mean, my family were always in church. We were heavily involved, and grew up in a great family. I mean, I loved having basic moral rules in my household, and anywhere from not drinking and the basics of why we don't have sex before marriage, or our family's never gonna have, you know, we're never gonna get divorced, or things like that. At 16, my dad left us 3 weeks before Christmas.
Wow.
And he...
Total shock?
Total
Surprise?
shock. I mean, honestly, part of me knew it but didn't want to believe it. You know, it's kind of like you see the signs, your parents are always arguing, things are happening, and you know, but the fact that he left 3 weeks before Christmas and never telling me goodbye was the hardest thing. Yeah. And at 16, you need your daddy. You know, at 16, you need your dad to tell you that he loves you and that you're beautiful. And with that missing in my life, I found kind of a whirlwind of things happening. Drugs, alcohol, that became my solstice. You know, I found some type of peace in that, some type of relaxation or numbing, to say the least. Self-medicating. And that was my life. Every day that was my life. But also I found that I needed love, and I needed somebody to tell me that I was beautiful, and somebody to kind of tell me that, you know, you're worth something. And I found that in a man. He was 21 years old. I was 17, and I was really excited.
Older man.
College guy, you're thinking, oh, he knows what he wants. And at 17, you're looking for somebody to tell you what you want. Right. And he did, and you know, we fell into some things that I was totally against growing up. Having sex was one of the biggest things that we fell into, and again, that's where I found my hope. That's where I found some type of satisfaction. And at 18, I got pregnant. And when I got pregnant, it was the hardest thing. Your whole world is shooken. Yeah. And
something you don't expect is going to happen to you.
You don't expect. You don't expect it. You do everything maybe to prevent it. Or you pretend that it can't happen to me. You see other people and other students or other kids, you know, getting pregnant, and you're just like, oh, that'll never happen. But yet there's also options. And we live in a world where there's lots of options to deal with things that happen that way. And I knew that option, but from everything that I grew up in and believed in, I thought, I would never do that. But here I am sitting in a car with a man who told me that he loved me. And he said, you know, I'll do anything for you. And we're in a predicament where I'm all of a sudden pregnant. And I said, what are we going to do? And he said, I don't know what we're going to do. We can't have this baby. And I remember him handing me money that day, saying, here's the money, do something. And I remember going to a clinic. Actually, it was Christmas Eve. And going to a clinic, and it was one of the brightest rooms in that hallway, but one of the darkest days of my life. And you leave that room not fully knowing the impact of what just happened. You try to hide it, you try to numb it, you try to put it off in your head, and oh, it's nothing. You put your clothes back on, you try to go back on with life and do things, but I knew that I'd been gutted. You know, the biggest thing that I came to in that abortion was forgiving myself and releasing what had happened. A lot of times after that abortion, I was so guilty and shameful for what I did. And only because of the reality that you have to find out somehow that you're pregnant, and what does pregnant mean, that you're having a baby, and all of that can come over time in your head. But if you're speaking to somebody, just to let them know that they can forgive themselves for what has happened, and forgive anything else that has happened to them in that sense. And that's actually how I found most of my healing, was forgiving not only myself, but that man that said, hey, do with it as you will. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not involved, or leaving me hanging, if that makes sense. So forgiveness was a big gateway.
Yeah. I just want to thank you so much for being so transparent, because a lot of people go through things and don't want to share them, but I know that your message helps a lot of people out there, and in any area of our lives. So we do need to let go of some things from our past and be able to move on, that there's a lot of life to live and all that. So I want you all to check out also the story we posted last Monday about Rachel's challenge. And I just want to thank Nina so much for sharing. Also, you can go on the website, rachelschallenge.org.
Yeah.
We sound like a commercial. .org. Anyways, thanks so much. And we'd love to hear your comments. Maybe you're going through something like this. I want to hear from you under this blog as well as on the forum. And I really, really hope that you're talking about the stuff you're going through, and I'd love to hear from you. So thanks for hanging out.
Yeah.